Chapter 1. A head is a terrible thing to not have. Karl Kabalinski is not the smartest person in the world. But try telling that to the woman in the checkered vest. "Morey's Museum of World Records is now closed," she says, "and you need to go home." "But look at this thing," I tell her. "It's an outrage." "What is?" she asks. "This," I say, pointing directly at the statue. It has a sign above it that reads, "Karl Kabalinski, smartest person in the world." "Kid, I get $8 an hour to walk around this museum and make sure no one breaks anything. If you have a problem with what's in it, tell someone else." "I've got a problem, all right. Lies, lies, and more lies. Everyone knows who the smartest person is." "Wonderful," she mumbles, rubbing her temples. "It's me," I say. "Good for you," she says, pushing me toward the exit with one hand. "Now let me show the smartest person in the world how a door works." I am suddenly tempted to pull rank. Reveal that I am this guy, Timmy Failure, man of the distinctive scarf. It is a name so recognizable that she would instantly know it as that of the founder, president, and CEO of the greatest detective agency in the town, probably the state, perhaps the nation. But I don't pull rank. I do something smarter. I climb Karl Kabalinski and try to yank down his sign. "What do you think you're doing?" screams the museum woman. "I'm saving the credibility of your institution," I retort. But I'm not. Because I can't reach the sign without jumping, and I am 9 feet above the ground, so I do what only the smartest person in the world would think to do. I jump. Only to learn that while Karl may have had a strong brain, his statue does not have a strong neck. And as I jump, it snaps, sending both me and Karl's overrated head tumbling. Straight to the museum floor, where I heard another snap. This one in my leg. And say the only logical thing I can to the museum woman leaning over me. "Now look what you've done." Chapter 2. The Cast That Limits Me. When you're lying in bed with a broken right leg, you can either cry or write your memoirs, and Timmy Failure doesn't cry, so here are my memoirs. I was born. I exhibited greatness. I founded an empire. And that empire was achieved despite the many obstacles around me, such as obstacle number 1, my mother. She's a kind enough person, but she has her weaknesses, like insisting I attend school. Now, school is fine for those who need it, but for those touched by greatness, it is a debilitating nuisance. Then there's obstacle number 2. His name is Total. He's a 1,500-pound polar bear. He was raised in the Arctic, but his home melted like an ice cube in the sun, and he wandered 3,000 or so miles to my house. So I gave him a job, and for the first 6 months, he was the most reliable polar bear I've ever employed. Then he revealed his true colors. It was a betrayal so profound that I do not wish to discuss it, so let me just say this. If a polar bear ever works very hard for you in the first 6 months of employment, keep this one thing in mind. It is a ruse. Do not make him a partner of your detective agency. Do not agree to change the name of the agency from Failure Inc. to Total Failure Inc. And hey, while I'm issuing warnings, do not model your life after the person who is obstacle number 3. His name is Rolo Tukis. He is my best friend, and he is boring. Boring because all he cares about is grades. So that's all the description he gets, and I will fill the space he otherwise would have gotten in these memoirs with a drawing of my face. Chapter 3. Drags Like Butter. When you are one of the world's high-profile detectives, you can expect your fair share of high-profile cases, and the one I get this morning on the Timmy line is about as high-profile as it gets. The call is from a classmate, Nunzio Benedici, and he is missing something precious.